And Miss Elizabeth bids goodbye and she also walks into the school. Arun now walks towards his favorite classroom. It's his music class. And as he walks in along with his classmates, he's in for a surprise. It's Miss Elizabeth who's standing there and almost welcoming all the students. As they settle down, Miss Elizabeth says, "Hello class, my name is Elizabeth and I am your new music teacher." "Hello miss," and everybody starts shouting. And she asks all the children, "Are you ready to make some music?" "Yes ma'am," and all the kids just erupt in joy. And she says, "That's wonderful. So nice to see all you children wanting to make some music. So where do we start? Anybody would like to play this Casio keyboard here?" And guess what? The first hand that went up was Arun's. You see, Arun loved playing the keyboard. And Miss Elizabeth, who already knew Arun, said, "Arun, come, let's settle down here. I will sing and you can play the keyboard." Arun is very happy but also nervous at the same time. But he's overjoyed because he is going to play the keyboard for Miss Elizabeth, who he's already met at lunch. And he settles down, and then Miss Elizabeth hands him over some music notes and she said, "That's the song that we're going to sing today, and you will be playing that." Arun suddenly felt very, very nervous. He saw the music sheet, and then again, all those letters, they didn't make any sense. He couldn't read. What song is it?" he asked Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth said, "Can't you read, Arun? It's Do a Dear." And before Arun could say anything, Miss Elizabeth said, "So I am going to sing the song and then you can follow, okay? Arun, just follow the notes." And she started to sing. "Do a dear, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself, far a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow, so. Tea, a drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to do, oh, oh, oh." And she looked at Arun and said, "Arun, why aren't you following me? Why aren't you playing the notes?" And that's when the entire class said, "Ma'am, that's because he can't read. He can't read. Arun can't read." And she said, "Shush." Miss Elizabeth was very, very upset by the sudden turn of events and all these children shouting. And she said, "Class, quiet, quiet. Don't worry, Arun. I will play." And she sat on the keyboard and she started to play while she taught the lesson to all the children. Arun was crestfallen. He was so upset, but he was trying to be very brave, and he just sang along and he just repeated. And then, as the class got over, she made sure that they all stood in a line and went out of the classroom, and she looked at Arun and said, "Arun, stay back, I want to talk to you." And as she said bye-bye to all the children who were moving away, she suddenly heard somebody on the keyboard playing Do a Dear. Tung, da tung, da tung, 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 da ta da 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 dong, tung, da tung, da tung, tung, tung. And she looked. It was Arun, who was flawlessly playing Do a Dear on the keyboard. She looked at Arun. "I thought you didn't know this song." And Arun said, "I don't. But you've just heard it once." "Yeah, but I heard it once." And that's when Elizabeth just sat down and spoke to Arun. She asked him a lot of questions. She asked him what difficulty he faced, and Arun, for the first time, thought he had found a friend, because he started to share a lot of things that he didn't share even with his parents or other teachers. And then, when it was time for him to go, Miss Elizabeth patted Arun and said, "We'll take care of this. Arun didn't understand what it meant, but he went off. That night, Elizabeth opens her laptop and starts to do a Google search. She starts typing, readers finding it difficult to read, reading issues for children. She types all kinds of things and she tries to figure out what are the answers. All kinds of things crop up. Children facing reading difficulties. She keeps at it and finally she tries to match whatever research findings she gets with whatever Arun told her. And finally, she comes on this word, dyslexia. Dyslexia. And when she reads more about dyslexia, she figures out that this is exactly what Arun is going through. It was not an issue about his capabilities. It's just that he needed an alternate method of learning. Elizabeth spends an entire week figuring out how she could help Arun. So much of research she had done and she knew it was time for her to talk to the principal. So the next Monday, she walks up to the principal. Now the principal was a kind man, a good listener. He listened to whatever Elizabeth had to say, but he was not very convinced that it was their job to do something and intervene in Arun's methodology, learning methodology. But Elizabeth was convinced and she asked the principal to request the parents to come to school. And so, seeing her conviction, the principal called for Arun's parents to come to school. Arun's parents came. And as soon as Elizabeth told them her findings of Arun, they were outraged, especially Arun's father. And he said, "You think there's something wrong with Arun? I'll never accept this." And Elizabeth said, "Please, I never said there's anything wrong with Arun. I told you that there are so many capabilities. He's so talented. Wait, let me show it to you." And she requested for the Casio keyboard to be brought to the principal's room. And she also asked Arun to come. Arun came inside the principal's room all nervous because he had no clue why he was being asked to come to the principal's room. What did he do? Did he make any mistake? And when he saw his parents, he was more shocked. But then the principal calmed him down and Elizabeth ma'am made him sit in front of the Casio keyboard. And she said, "Arun, would you like to play something that you learnt last week?" And Arun was wondering, is this a nightmare? Is this all for real? He pinched himself and he said, "Yes, ma'am, I would like that." And she said, "Go on." And Arun started to play. Do, mi, 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 so, so, re, fa, fa, la, ti, ti. Do, mi, mi, so, so, re, fa, fa, la, ti, ti. Do, mi, so, so, re, fa, fa, la, ti, ti. And as Arun keeps playing, the parents are absolutely shocked because they see that Arun is enjoying playing the keyboard and something that he just learnt last week. Their child was brilliant. And as soon as he stops, both the parents get up and clap. And Miss Elizabeth and the principal are overjoyed. And Miss Elizabeth tells the parents, "Did you see your talented Arun? How beautifully his fingers move on the keyboard. How mellifluous his playing is." And Arun's mother has tears in her eyes and she looks at Arun's father and says, "There is something that we really need to pay attention to, I think. Because I've never seen Arun feel so happy with something that's happening in school." Let's listen to what Miss Elizabeth has to say. Arun's father also nods. And then it starts. With all the research that Elizabeth and all her other friends have, shared with her, she starts to go to the staff room, get together Arun's other teachers and talk about phonetic breakdown and remedial intervention. She talks about these interventions being the one and the only way to make sure that Arun is also able to read just like all his other friends. Because finally, what she wanted to tell them was Arun was different, but he was a different learner. He had all the capabilities because when it came to music class, he was able to replicate every rhythm, every melody that he had just heard once. And all he needed was just a little push and a little bit of difference in the teaching methodology. I would like to thank Elizabeth ma'am, my teacher, my principal and my parents to make me understand, to make sense of all the letters and alphabets that danced in front of me. Together, they made me realize that I could win over any problem. And if you want to know what my problem was, it's dyslexia. This means I struggle to read, write and spell, but not anymore. Thanks to all my teachers, my principal, my parents and Elizabeth ma'am.